Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Morning 4 podcast on this, the lucky 13th day of June, 2019. I'm your host, Katie Parsons, and I just love starting my weekday with you because it means we both woke up today and we both made the decision to have a great day, no matter what happens. Are you genuinely feeling that good energy today, or are you kind of just dialing it in? It's okay. It happens. Sometimes you have to fake it a little to make it. But I guarantee you that with a little bit of good vibes, they go a long way toward you achieving long-term goals of greater peace, greater optimism, and greater positivity in your life. If you'd like to stay connected with me beyond the actual podcast, reach out via The Morning 4 on Facebook or Instagram, or send me an email to morning4podcast@gmail.com, and that's morning4, F-O-U-R, morning4podcast@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you at any and all of those places I just listed. But for now, the task at hand. Let's get today started with
Number 1.
Most, if not all of my listeners thus far are from the Northern Hemisphere. Northerners for life, am I right? Well, it turns out that we're not really that creative or original because the Northern Hemisphere is the place to be. 90% of the world's human population lives here. I feel like that would make the Earth off kilter somehow, but maybe there are some other factors in the southern part that outweigh or balance us. I mean, there must be. Here's another fun hemisphere fact. Africa is the only continent that lies in all 4 hemispheres. While several of the world's continents are traversed by the separation between 2 hemispheres, Africa is the only continent in the world that lies in all 4. This geography fact also means that Africa is the only continent to have land both at the equator and the prime meridian.
Number 2.
Hey, while we're on a geography roll, if you're listening to this podcast, you know that I am trying to get better. So I'm just going to keep rolling with the facts here. Did you know that you can walk from the United States of America to Russia? Well, if you really wanted to. Technically, you'd have to walk on water a little bit, but the distance between U.S. property and Russian property is only 4 kilometers apart. Have you ever walked or run a 5K race? Yeah, so it's shorter than that. Big Diomede is part of the Russian Federation and is Russia's easternmost point. Neighboring Little Diomede is actually part of Alaska. The islands were first populated by the Yupik peoples and used for hunting as long as 3,000 years ago. But Russian explorer Semyon Desnev was the first European to discover them again in 1648.
Number 3.
Today's feel-good news story is sourced from goodnewsnetwork.org. 6-year-old Kai Baldwin from Utah recently heard about flooding in Nebraska on his local news and saw images of a steel bridge being swept away. He told his mom that he was worried about the people who didn't have a bridge. He wondered, how will they get home? How will they get to their families? How will they take care of their pets? So he told his mom he was going to raise $60 to build a new bridge, and that was an amount that he felt would surely be enough. So his mom went ahead and shared that goal online, and he did raise $60. Actually, he ended up raising over $285. Though that money was still not quite enough to replace that bridge, another Utah resident named Jesse Weiss saw the fundraiser and realized that a bridge he had just removed from a local property would likely work in the Nebraska case. Of course, there was a lot more involved with logistics and cost, but the bridge from Utah is now filling that gap in Nebraska. And that is something that would not have happened if it wasn't for 6-year-old Kai wanting to make a difference.
Number 4.
Sometimes we feel like our little acts of kindness may be too little and not enough to really make a difference. But what if Kai had given up? What if he had not even bothered to raise $60? The bridge would have never been donated. So remember that we have so much potential to change the world for better. So let's head into today's affirmation with that in mind. Repeat after me. I am not at the end of anything, but I am only just beginning. Today, I will allow myself to see the vastness of my potential. And that's it for today. I hope that you have a wonderful Thursday, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow.